Okay guys, we're going to cover the Advanced tab in this short, sharp video. First of all, before we look at what is the Advanced tab, we're going to start with where is the Advanced tab. If I go to my, here we are on the home page, if I go to my game plan from the head coach section, you'll see I can't see Advanced tab. I actually have to come into the game plan. Now I've got a bunch of tabs, and there it is on the right hand side, far right hand side, Advanced tab. If you haven't been in there before, this is what it looks like. This is my game plan, and I'm going to illustrate the use of the Advanced tab by taking one example, which is the end of half, because this example I think illustrates pretty much everything else. So end of half, I'm going to now go to the rule book, and the critical thing to know is that the Advanced tab is associated predominantly with the artificial intelligence section of the rules. So here is the AI section of the rules. It's kind of in Appendix A. It's reasonably far down, and there are a number of AIs, all uniquely coded with a number. So let's take number 2. Number 2 is end of half. So that you'll recognize from the Advanced tab, end of half here, and that number 35 is the default number for the rule number 2, end of half. On the last play of the half, if the offense is within 35 yards of the opponent's end zone, a field goal will be attempted if the kicker can make such a kick. So that's that. So if you change 35 in here, let's say I change that to 30 and saved it, which I'm not going to do in this particular case, then all of a sudden the way the code's going to work is it's going to regard that number as 35. Let's take a look at the code. And so if I go into the AI section of the code, there's the end of half. You'll see the code, that the text is familiar. If last play of half equals yes, and yards to end zone are less than this variable, it's not hard coded as 35. You can change, that's what you're changing on this screen, and that's what the way the code then works. You'll notice that if it's the end of half and yards to end zone is less than that number, and there's some other checks which associate itself really with the end of half, then that AI number kicks in. So that's the way it works. Be careful, because some of these are quite powerful, and all of a sudden you'll find some pretty bizarre things happening if you've set the number wrong, and we don't in the code do a large amount of validation checks, so just be careful of that. But that's the way you use Advanced tab. If you wanted to go back at any time to the original values, reset all is the way to do that. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the Advanced tab.